Okay. So there's a change going on. The star card kicks out again. There's a second chance there, but the new perspective has to happen. What else has to happen for you when we get back together? Now, isn't this interesting? You guys have seen me shuffle. You've seen me pull this through. This one doesn't feel like breadcrumbing. This feels like something is coming in as a gift. There might be something, even though you have to change your perspective and look at it from a completely new lens, there is a second chance coming in here. It seems like, yeah, there is a gift on that one. And it feels like very much that that's a yes. Things are coming together, but there needs to be a new perspective, a new way of seeing if you're doing that. Anything else you need to know? Because I'm nosy. Yeah, there's a karmic lesson in here for you. This is the Justice card. This is when the karmic lessons comes through. This is huge coming up. This is really huge. Yeah, it's time to take the lesson, but you got to view it from a different perspective. View it from the longer, broader perspective, and that will serve you quite well. So that's what I'm getting on that. Okay, I'm going to do my commercial. This is what we're doing. This is how I usually do, guys. $20 for the blind oracle, $30 for the year ahead. You don't ask questions on those at all. You just get the read you need, and whatever comes through, comes through. So that's what's coming through here. I am recording the show today, so just FYI. Your reads should be recorded and uploaded on my YouTube channel later if you want to go back and look at them. If you want to ask a question, $30 for the mini, $40 for the full. Now, that's usually 7 to 10 cards here, 15 to 20 here, but I get nosy. You saw me try and limit it to 2 and 3 card reads like that, and usually I get more nosy. It's hard. It's hard to not draw more cards. And these are my specialty reads. So you can get the bones, the crystal ball, or the past life readings for $50, and I love, love, love doing those. Love doing those. So that's what I'm doing today. Oh, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, that's how you can pay me. And look for your spelling on Feisty Butterfly. It's a Feisty Butterfly, and the E comes before the I. And there's a lot of people knocking me off and pretending to be me that aren't me. So just double check your spelling, because if you pay the wrong person, I really can't do anything about it. So that's what's going on. And let Kim know what kind of read you get and how you paid, because she's gonna run the list. She'll keep me informed on what's going on with the list. So I'm going to put the Charlie Brown cards to the side. We'll take the golden wheel out one more time, see what's going on. Anything else we need to know for the collective? Collective. Yeah, let Kim know which one you paid for so she can get you on the list, okay? All right, we're going to go to the collective reading now, and I'm going to tip this down. I'm going to tip this down a little so you guys can see the cards as they come. That might be a little bit better. I think on my YouTube you won't see my head and my face as much, but that's okay. All right. Hey there, Steph. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Page of Wands. This is new excitement, new messaging, new high energy coming through. This is something that is a new message of excitement and growth. This is sometimes the student and where's the party. This one always knows where the party and the events are going on. What's going on with this? It's buzz. The energy of buzz is going on. No, not Buzz Lightyear. No. It's not to infinity and beyond. It's buzz, like excitement. Something is growing. Momentum is growing. 9 of Swords. There's a little bit of anxiety and stress, a little bit of worry. Can we do this? And this comes through. This is the mini of the Tower. To me, this is when the epiphany comes through. It's like, do I dare? This kind of energy coming through. Do I dare? Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, dare. Do it. The sword of truth is in all of this. These worries, these doubts, this anxiety and stress, it's just excitement that needs channeled in a different way. This is really, really different. And then here, that excitement, that energy, and that buzz, this is something that somebody is going to be learning something different and new coming up. I'm not sure what this is about, but it's bigger than just, one lesson. It feels like, it's bigger than the lesson in the minutia. It feels like Major Arcana lesson. It feels like Major Arcana lesson about truth. Not the end of the world. No, this is the big lesson of truth and how we carry ourselves forward with integrity, how we honor what it is that we are, who it is we are, and who we knew ourselves to be needs to be remembered once again. The anxiety needs let go of. We need to have excitement again to be on the journey that we're on. That's what's coming. You got mental anguish. Yeah, people are in high anxiety right now and probably going to be till the 4th. There's a glitch in the system. Some people would say that we're switching timelines. Some people are saying we're jumping things. But when we talk about shifting timelines and all of that, think of it like bridging a gap between what we would like to see happen and taking that leap of faith to what it is that we know can happen and actually doing that. That's what's coming up. So that's what I've got. 3 days of darkness. Elizabeth, I just don't buy that. Sorry, I just don't think that 3 days of darkness are coming. Maybe you're in the wrong room, honey, because we're not going to be having 3 days of darkness and all of that nonsense going on. And I'm not one that really goes in for the gloom and doom. I mean, I'll read the tarot cards, and if I see shitty stuff, then I'll let you know. But yeah, and it may not be. It's like the people that are in North Carolina that are having hurricanes, they're probably experiencing their own little refiner's fire or 3 days of darkness or whatever. But we all have our things that are going on that are a little bit challenging, and those people have epic level of challenge. So it's not that there isn't crazy and chaos going in the world. There typically is somewhere, something going on, and it happens to be there. So what I would say to you all, as the bossy old woman that I am, is stand in your light, stand in your power, stand in what is your truth, that you can extend some love to others. Extend the love where you can. Do what you can when you can, and extend that love and light towards others. That matters more than you even know right now. That's what I would say. All right, Cass, I saw that your payment came through, so we're going to take a look and see what's going on. See if I can see your question. How do JB and you progress at the end of this year? Okay, and this is for what looks like a mini. So we're going to see what that looks like. Oh, no. Cass, we're going to the vampire deck. Oh, I only have one of these, so anything that needs clarified, we're going to go into on probably a regular Rider-Waite. But let me tip this down. Okay. Yep, for Cass, it's a full. Sorry, I may have called it a mini. It's a full. We're going in here. Hang on. You and JB until the end of the year. It's messy. It's like clockwork gears that aren't lining up. The teeth aren't lining up. The relationship needs some WD-40 and some time. It's something that needs retooled, realigned. And the synchronicity does not seem to be there right now. You guys are not on the same page. In fact, I even want to get this round deck also. This is the round Rider-Waite. That's what we'll clarify with in a minute. We're going to start by doing an arc here. Just the first over arc like this. So it's this kind of a shape. Hopefully you're able to see it. Okay. Whoa, yeah. These are very visceral, not just graphic, but visceral feeling cards. And this arc feels very, very narrow. Hopefully you can see some of what's going on here. We're just reading it on the visceral level here. Just give me a second. This is asking right now, I'm being asked to read it Oracle style more than Tarot style right here. And I know this right off the jump. It's almost like somebody's on life support in the relationship. Everything that's been done. And this is like this near death, life support and near death. This is what's coming up. This relationship has been very, very difficult. I don't know that it's quite healthy for you. There does need a refueling in the relationship. Huge. Looking for the happy and restocking and refueling on there. Very, very strange. Who is rating most of the energy? Now, this is the Vampires deck, and it feels very vampiric in the energy. Somebody has yielded too much. Somebody has given too much. Somebody else is always rating. This is like rating the cookie jar for vampires, right? Draining the energy and siphoning. That's not so hot. I'm not loving the feel of that, frankly. I'm not loving the feel of that at all. In the two in the middle, I want to see what's going on. Flip this down again. Flip it down again. So we've got here the two in the middle. Somebody looking all like they're together, that they've got all their shit together. And I'm telling you, they do not got their shit together. This is not reading how tarot would traditionally read to me. It's very much reading like Oracle. Somebody needs to have the breakthrough. They do have more ready to go than what they realize, and they need to break through. When somebody takes from you, or you give or overgive, and you're not getting enough return, ultimately there's a time when you have to start calling back or acting in a more accountable way for your own good. And this is what the lesson is all through here. This feels like the next 2.5 months. I don't know why that is. We're going to go into this for a clarifier. I want a clarifier right here. So we're going to see what the clarifier is on that. Oh, okay. I'm trying to adjust it so it will come through. All right. Here we go. You got to be kidding me. Okay. All right. This is the Page of Pentacles. This is also the Page of Pentacles. The clarifier is somebody is thinking they're Robin and not Batman. Somebody is not getting what they need to moved forward. This is somebody that is the faithful, faithful one, the faithful, faithful, reliable one, the emissary for the queen that will carry the mission through, will do what needs done, most prepared, most ready, most ready. And you're dealing with this. This comes up as somebody is dealing with a boy when they should be dealing with a man. Now, that sounds old school and kind of cranky. But somebody might be a little bit Peter Pan, not accepting their share of responsibility or their accountability. You think you overgive, Cass, and you've done it forever? Yeah. With most of your relationships. Look at how you do that and why you do that. And don't look at it in a way that you're condemning yourself, but is it that you were raised to feel like you had to earn your share or had to accommodate others or do for others in order to have security, safety, and acceptance in what might have been your family of origin or your basic beginning relationships? And if that's carrying over and spilling over to how you do your love relationship, just realize it doesn't have to be condemning. Just realize it's a pattern that can be changed and you're the one in charge of changing it. What we see coming up is the Star of Hope. You're going to get reminders of this pattern. It feels like for the 2 months, you're getting reminders of this pattern. 2.5 months, you're going to go forward. We're in October, and it feels like TikTok, we're running out of time for the year, but we've really got some time still. We've got all of October, all of November. This is when you're going to start feeling this. This is like probably first week-ish of December. I'm getting December 10th. I don't know what that's about, but December 10th is coming through on time frame there. I don't know what that is. Be prepared that you will have gotten reminders before then, but you can start activating this and being the healing waters as much as you can right now. As much as you can possibly stand. Get yourself to work through some of this old patterning of overgiving and start giving to yourself. And it is tricky when you have to set boundaries. It's tricky when you have to stand for self. It's tricky when you have to be like, okay, I'm going to do this for me. People aren't going to be thrilled about it, but I need to take care of what I need to take care of for me and move forward. When you start honoring self more and more and more, that's not selfish to honor what it is you need. And then when you start doing that, your relationships, the color, the texture, the face of the relationship changes because you're honoring yourself and you aren't feeling resentment or deprivation or insecure. You're not feeling that creep in there anymore. Okay. Ooh, loving this. What did we suddenly get? Tarot now? Suddenly we're in the tarot zone and it's reading like tarot, I'm noticing. Isn't that interesting? These ones would not even let me read tarot. And this one, since we laid down, they were wanting that coming through more. What we got here is the Empress. This is the Empress. She knows her abundance. She knows her worth. She knows her value. And everything she touches grows, grows, grows. This is renewing that with self. Renewing what it is you want to do. And honoring self going forward. We're seeing the Hierophant. And we're also seeing this Five of Swords. Look at this. This Five of Swords is like with a rebel yell. Yeah, this is you. Yelling for self, crying crying and calling back home. The return to self. Huge, huge, huge. This is like the lesson, the access is granted. The traditional lesson, traditional wisdom, traditional things coming through in a strong way. I want to see what's going on here, and then I want to see what's going on at the heart of it. So those two are here. Hierophant, rebel yell is coming in here. Usually it's like get off the battlefield. And I'm getting with a rebel yell. You want more, 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 more. That's what I'm getting. All right. What would it be without the clairaudience, guys? Clairaudience comes in all the time. Let's see what's going on. What is this about? It feels like December is when it's like a really loud yell to the universe, yell reclaiming, calling it back. Whoever's been screwing you over and taking from you, you're not having anymore. You're calling people out on their shit as well. Oh, wowza, wowza, wowza. Okay, right here, we're seeing the Tower, the Page of Swords, and the Temperance. Yeah, whatever was built up before in the strange way that it was built up is no longer going to cut the mustard. It's not going to do any good anymore. You're like done with it. It's over. It's done. Liberation, freedom coming through. That's huge. You're going to grab this sword of truth. You've witnessed and seen enough, and you're like, boom. Honoring something different. Creating a new sense of flow. Doing new alchemy for self. This is coming through, and it's coming through right like this. And this is coming through loud, loud, loud. Like, I think that's Billy Idol, and it's coming through just, it feels like somebody turned a radio on in my room. With a rebel yell, more, more, more. It's coming through loud, loud, loud. Yeah, I don't know. My hair clip's coming out. Wow. Okay, so when you want this and you're just in this space where demand, 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 and they can't hear it, it's like they can't speak English or something. They aren't interested in your version. They aren't interested in coming together. They aren't interested in anything except for their own need because they're the crying child. If you want is what is happy, get yourself off this life support here. You should be getting infusions. You should be getting participation, gifts, co-equals, and it doesn't feel like it's coming together in the... No. As long as you give and continue to give and continue to overgive and have your boundary crossed over and over and not stand for your own boundary, you're training someone how to mistreat you and you're accepting the crumbs, and I don't love it for you, frankly. Okay. Whoa! Here's this Page of Wands. Now, interesting, we saw some of these coming through a little bit earlier. This Page of Wands, this fiery, inspired one. Where's the excitement? Where's the party? Where's the new message? If your future self could come through and write you the message for every reason that you deserve to have every ounce of happiness, I would let that happen. If you can write yourself a little note for right now that pretend your future self is talking, and write yourself a note as to why you need to be excited about your future and going forward, regardless this relationship foo, just as you. This is going to be good for you right now. And where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve? All of this. Be prepared. You're going to be venturing in a new way. Magicians in the house. Now, this is just traditional magician. You see a little bit more of the hanging vines. You see a little bit more of what's going on with this as far as the surroundings. This picture, all the round cards include more of the surroundings, but particularly the magician needs to know it. Why is that important? Why is that important? It feels like fresh new start. The sacrificing is done. So when you stop sacrificing and let somebody else step up, that's going to help the relationship a lot. When you stop sacrifice, try and build. You can't do 90% of the work in the relationship and have a relationship that is equal partners. You just can't. It feels like if you call this kind of shit out, then you have a fresh start. If you can realize that it's up to you to create the dynamic change. You cannot change them. It's up to you to create the dynamic change in how you deal with your boundaries, what you accept, what you tolerate, what you're going for. You need to be healing some of this, going after more of what you want. Some of what they want needs to just be backseated, backburnered. Who gives a rip? You can't keep playing small to keep with them. You need to move forward. If they can't figure out how to move forward after watching you move forward, you don't have to wait. It feels like there's this window of time where this lesson needs to be taught by example, by you taking care of your own boundaries. Then the flow comes back, and it feels like it's going to be difficult. I wouldn't expect this pattern to heal overnight. Yeah, Kim, the only thing you can control or change is your actions and reactions. How you respond, what you can pre-plan for is that you're going to be doing it a little bit different and then choose to do it different. This is big for you, especially when this is like near death for you. This is like, sometimes you've given all you can give. You've given all you can give. You wait, and Peter Pan just doesn't grow up. It feels like there's this window of time where you can change how you've been dealing with this, change how you're doing it, and see what the response will be and if it will change. The sword of truth needs to be carried big and strong. And you need your integrity back. You need the new knowledge back. You need the new start. You need to write yourself this letter from your higher self about the boundary that you want to hold that's important to you. The truth of the situation. If you feel like by January that you're still giving, and they're not, then that means that what's going on is not going to change. There's a little window of time. What else do you need to know? You asked towards the end of the year. The progress needs to be with you. If you want to jumpstart this, if you want to create a different kind of thing and jumpstart how it will shift in the year, let's see. You're going to have to break the chains, baby. I'm going to try and cover this so I don't get banned, but you guys know who this is. You're going to have to break the chains. The toxic type of addiction to how it's been, the comfort level, how it's been, And the discomfort with creating confrontation for your own soul's growth is what is on the line and what you get to do different. And if you're willing to do that, then you're going to be able to see differently, operate differently, have new hope for your dream again. Yeah, it doesn't hurt you to get that standing strongly for self happening sooner. It doesn't hurt one bit. Anything else? There's something to do with money coming in. I'm not sure what this is. If they're okay, yes. Okay. If what it is you want to spend money on your fingernails or spend money on makeup or spend money on a certain thing and you're nickel and diming yourself, you need to stop. It needs to just flat stop. It's not that everybody needs to go spend happy, but sometimes one of the ways we measure our value is when we're willing to spend money on ourselves in a way that we choose to do that honors our soul. So that if that means you go to, say you go to the Savers or the secondhand Goodwill thrift shop, and what you want to look for is a bunch of old, I don't know, teacups or old china, or maybe you want to look for some kind of old knick-knack bric-a-brac that you've been looking for. Maybe it's spending the time and the currency in there and you get something completely different at that shop. But what it's doing is saying you're spending an increment of time, and frequently it has to do with how we value and measure ourselves according to money. If you want something that you've been thinking about for the last 2 or 3 months and haven't been ordered because you just don't know how it's going to work, I'm not here to break anybody's budget at all. Look what's going on. Magician and World. How'd the Magician get back in there? Oh, because I'd gathered up the cards here. And the Magician wanted to be right back in there. And the World. Yeah, there is a lesson in completing and how you honor your magic. And then what are these 3? The victory comes when you're clear with yourself. Cut the shit. Cut the crap, kid. This is what this one says. She's perceived as a bitch, but she knows the truth, and she opens up a gateway to synchronicity. Opens it up a new 1111 opportunity, a new moment, a new threshold to step through. This is huge. This is what's going on. She's opening this up. This is the magic of honoring self, of holding integrity, lifting yourself up high and recognizing yourself, creating that victory for self and the value for self. This is what's going on. That feels complete. That feels very complete. Wow, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, that's complete. What I'm seeing is when you start taking care of yourself more and more, then things start coming on board more and more in a good way. The relationship for JB and you doesn't seem like he's going to be the one doing any kind of repair work. He has to follow your lead. And so it is, and so it's been, and so it is a lot of the time. It's not anything to really worry about or stress over. It's just how it sometimes goes. So that's what I got for you. Yeah, get yourself nourishment and nourish. Don't let people raid from you. All right. Kristen has sent in for a past life. Is that who's next on the list? Thanks, you've been getting pulled to embody Empress vibes, so taking care of self more. Yeah, the Empress was that one that came up. It was Empress, Hierophant, and then the Rebel Yell. The Empress needs to be honored. Huge, huge, huge. Yeah, the letter idea, definitely do it. And do it when your house is quiet. And if your house can't get quiet and you need to remove yourself to a car with just like a notebook, paper, and pen, you do it where you can be quiet and let spirit work through you on that one. Okay. All right. Let me get some water. And then Kim, if you let me know who's next. I think it might be Kristen, but you double check for me. Because I'm seeing Kristen paid for a past life or soul contract with Melina. All right. Okay. So, Kristen, I generally will look in past lives. I don't ever know what's going to come through. If you want to ask a question about your soul contract with Melina, we can look at that a little bit separately. Past life, she may or may not come through. We think just because we have involvement with certain characters in this life that they're in every single one of our past lives, and sometimes they aren't. So you need to know that ahead. So, Kristen, do you want me to look at just what's the soul contract going on right now with you and Melina? Or do you want me to just see what happens to come through? You understand? Okay. We'll do past life, no problem. I love past life. It's one of my favorites. Okay. Here we go. All right, we're going in. Interesting. These are the first 2 out. That's going to be really interesting and details going on. All right. All right, I'm flipping the one that's recording this down. Hopefully we'll get all of this. And I'm going to flip this down. So let's see what's going on. This is the archetypes. And yeah, I'm getting the okay to look for you and Melina to look. I'm getting parallels, so we're going to run them parallel, and then we're going to see where they join. 1 second. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay. This is what we got for the setup. This is the archetypes. This is some of the things coming through. This is person A, person B. That's generally not how I do it. We're going to see what's going on. 1 second. This is your energy coming through right here. This is less weighted, less heavy, less important, less cards coming through on that one. Let me see if I can get this. I don't know. This stupid thing is recording very good, and I want it to be recorded for you if I can get it. Give me a second. Oh, somebody is playing a different kind of energy. It's the mask is coming up, but somebody is playing a different energy. The things that are the tragedy and the comedy are coming up, like the Shakespearean masks are coming up. What's going on? We've got some kind of crazy disaster going on, disaster of the working class. We've got the tribe, and then we've got also here the questioning of authority. This is all coming up on your side of it. So I don't know if you can see these or not, but it's all coming up on your side of it. And over here, we have war, war, war. The mask, somebody else was in charge. What I'm getting is something like the teacher-student roles reversed, but it feels like in the context of battle, the who's in command. Who's in command? Who's in command? It feels like somebody else was in charge of other in battle. The mask, somebody else was more the leader, more the natural leader in that life. They were in a different role. They were very much like, yeah, whoever was the commander should have been soldiering, and whoever was soldiering should have been commanding. The roles will flip a little bit here and there for you and this person. The mask's how you are, teacher, student. You're always in opposites of roles. You're not on the same page. You'll be in one role, she'll be in the other. This is how it's going to go over and over. Even to the extent of mother-daughter, those roles will flip, but I'm getting so much of the energy of soldier and commander coming in. Soldier and commander coming in strong. I want to see slightly what's going on with her over here. Then we're going to see what's going on with you. So just 1 second. So interesting. We're getting the king, the knight, and the emperor coming in here. Again, there's something about the age difference that's chronically going to be in here. Whether it's here in this life or not, it doesn't matter. There's a soul age difference coming in here. One of you is meant to lead, the other is meant to learn. And over, the soul age difference comes through. The flipping around comes through. Why is this connection so great? I don't know. This does feel like something that is old school ties to old school familial ties coming through. What's up with that? And it feels like property lines, boundaries and property lines, over and over and over. Now let's see what's going on with you over here. The Emperor came in again over here. Very interesting. The Emperor came in again over here. So you can see this, hopefully quite well. But they're both here, both as emperors. You do take times where you alternate leading and not leading. One of you is significantly older as a soul, so you're more than willing to abdicate, to shift things around. We've seen when, yes, okay. Nell and Gogs are like here, and Gogs is clearing his throat like, and Nell is doing her thing, very interested in what we're seeing and what we're reading through. Now, you know that Nell often presents younger, but we have learned that she's older than Gogs, who presents as an older person. This is similar in the relationship that's going on. This is them speaking up like, hello, hello, reminding. Sometimes there's a battle going on. Sometimes you don't know who's in charge or who's here to teach who. You get hung up on the station, you get hung up on the station, the assignment, the station, um, the station, like the status, the station. You get hung up on who's been assigned commander, who's been assigned soldier, who's been assigned teacher, who's been assigned student, who's been assigned mother, who's been assigned daughter or sister or whatever. You get hung up on the roles assigned rather than the dynamic that needs to be fluid. And that comes through as a challenge. There is like the table here that's coming in. This is when tarot reads so oracle, it's crazy. We're back in command here. Every emperor has a council that is really wise counsel. If we see it in modern times, we would see it as the hand of the king is what I'm getting. Everybody has this come in, this wise counsel that's coming in. And it's important for you to know that you will act as that for each other. Now, in this particular one, there needed to be more connection to tribe. Even in this one, you guys are messy. Even in this one, you guys are messy with your roles. Messy with who's meant to lead. And not often yielding. And yielding needs to happen. Not often yielding up. Ego gets in your way. This doesn't come in as the retreat of the Four of Swords. It comes in double hard. This one comes in like the Eight of Swords. Somebody's held captive. You feel like it feels like until you guys can learn how to master this flow, until you can learn how to master the flow of yielding. Temperance card is flashing through. Of surrender and yield, surrender and yield. Until you can master this, it's territory, 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 territory versus working together. Over and over and over. Why am I getting this? Two kings in one kingdom, two emperors in one kingdom. It needs to be, somebody needs to be the one to step back. You will need to step back. You needed to step back. Again, you're getting an echo of this lesson. You'll need to step back. Okay. What else about her? And then we're going to go all about you, babe, because the lesson is echoing. The moving on in her space, she's already done. She's already to do. She died younger than you in this previous life. We've got the reward, the death, and the moving on, and then the different choices. And these are choices in the in-between and the in-between. What do we got? The in-between, the lifetime between lifetimes. There's been somewhere where she has not been instantly intermingled with you, where you take a break from this dynamic and then you plug back in and do the dynamic again. This is someone that has been in many of your lifetimes, but the way you plug into each other is really, really, it's not symbiotic yet, but it's trying to be. It's like, parasitic seems too strong, but you know when you have like the birds on the rhinos or those little barnacles on the whale or something like that, somebody else is going to play big, 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 and the other one is going to be small. Both of those things serve their purpose. Feels like it's your turn to play big. It was your turn to play big in this life, but you played smaller than you should. Let's see what the cards are saying and showing us through here, okay? We're going to go down here. Here's what we've seen over here. And this one, showing that to the camera. Okay, and then we're going to go over here and see what's coming across the table here for you. Okay, I'm flipping this down. Why do you need to step back? What's going on here? We're going strictly into yours now, into yours. There's a thread coming through. Thank you, thank you. Okay. What I'm getting here is there's a thread coming through. There's a thread coming through. It's like the thread that would go to the center of the labyrinth of the Minotaur myth coming through. But the main thing that you need to know here is the thread. You would be the thread for her. She would be the thread for you. This is the time where you're navigating, making your choices, stepping back and navigating. You have to follow the thread. The thread is connected. Yes, it's very connected. But you're there as a guideline, as a guidance system for each other. Yes. So you can understand the role that you want to play and what you want to grow into. Very, very interesting. Yeah, you're walking away from playing small here. That's hugely, hugely coming in. Yeah, very interesting. You don't want to play commander soldier anymore. This might be the lifetime where you actually complete this lesson. And so it's like you get this chance to have even footing, because this is showing what a burden that has been. It's like something that was uncompleted. You didn't get to walk off the battlefield when you should have walked off the battlefield in this particular one. There was a burden, the burden, the burden. You worried for your friend, for this, your soul family. That's all it is too there. You worried for this on the boundary. You had to step back. You had to yield. So what's coming up now? What's coming, I shouldn't say the word now. What's coming up next in that past life for you? And then you yield. Then what happens? You left. Then what happened? The weaver of the thread comes through again. There's victory somehow in leaving the battlefield. And if you can do again this scenario where you recalibrate the balance to a more equal level, it frees somebody else. This is something you were wise enough to know that if you left the battlefield, if you made the sacrifice in this particular life, it creates a different kind of guide coming forward. New thread. The story comes up as if you're fighting over territory, fighting over property lines and divisions and divisions and divisions. And even if somebody is saying, and they know they're 1,000% right on something, they're yielding and they're giving sacrifice, leeway to something. That's when the masks fall. That's when it changes, and it begins to change. And this changing, and instead of having one be the other, one be the other, to have an equal level of power coming through is what you're trying to learn to balance. Anything else in this past life? Keep going for what's truth. Keep going for what's just, for what's right. Be aware of the legals, the papers. You had the documents. You had the documents. You had the title. You had the authority to have the land, but you were burdened by what was always taking place as a contention there. It's like you gave up and sacrificed part of your land so there would be more equity in this dynamic. An emperor doesn't usually give up much of their kingdom very easily, but that's what you did because you knew that would be constant war if the two kings were in the kingdom. If the two kings were in the kingdom all the time with nobody yielding, you yielded that time. Here comes the strength. You yielded. Your strength was in following the nudge. Your strength still is there. Trust the subtle energies now as surely as you trusted them then. You don't always have to yield territory, but you do have to follow that nudge. There's no reason for you to be the battler anymore. I want to go in a little bit deeper. I want to see another section where you guys were together, if we can. Specifically, I want to see you. Oh my gosh. This is letting me be, see you guys again, but I get the wealthy elite and I get the carpenter, and I'm getting somebody as servant again. So again, we're getting the two roles. And seeing and understanding the beauty that each other offers. It was a closer relationship and less adversarial. Less of soldier and commander and territory wars about the field, and more like really the artisan, the craftsman, and the benefactor. What do they call that? The person that supports it, the person that would support the great art of the Renaissance. You know those, I don't know what the word is. Shoot, I'm weak on vocabulary sometimes when this comes through. It's the person that would support, like if you had like Da Vinci or whatever, it's the person that would support that. The wealthy elite, this is coming through. That you would have the wealth to support at the education of somebody that was in servant class and help endorse and support them. This is what's coming through here. So you've done different roles and different things, but you had a more close-knit type of relationship here. Yeah, there's something that comes back. It's like we've jumped through, we've jumped past and behind, and it feels like we've jumped through to this time where there's a songstress and a sculptor. I don't know, the patron of the arts. That's the words that I want. The patron, the benefactor, the patron of the arts. That's what you were previous to this. I wanted to see one more. I want you to see this because you can see where it's close and then sometimes at odds, close and sometimes at odds. And in different lives, there are connections coming through. Now, I told you not always does it come through where every life is connected. There have been some between times when you haven't been there directly in each other's world, but more often you have. For you particularly, more often you have. And there's this patron of the arts benefactor thing. And then there's in this slightly life forward is this battling for territory. So that's as much time frame as I can give you on this. Of the two of you, you feel like as they would phrase it, as some would phrase it, the older soul. So you are patient in yielding, you are patient in giving, and you are patient in playing this dynamic back and forth. This is very strong soul family, strong soul connection. Anything else? Going into Tarot of Dreams for a minute. Anything else you need to know? I want to go back to this patron energy here coming through. What does the patron need to know? Not so much the commander, the patron. I'm asking what did you need to know then, and I'm asking what will carry through towards now. There will have been a sense and a feeling of betrayal before the happiness comes. This is like this sense of betrayal for that patron, a heartache, some big thing, a big, and it does come through with a sense of betrayal and really, really a misunderstanding. And then the wish is that you could have a chance to do over, and that's what you got. Very interesting. It's like the universe doesn't have a problem with you guys repeating, learning this lesson. The patron needs to know that part of this chance and getting the chance to do it over and over was indeed what you wished for, and indeed what you were willing to do to play the different role. Page of Wands comes through beautifully. This is when you're going to go forward on the adventure. This is when you're checking things out. This is when you're going to go through and somebody's going to have the inspiring light to go through. Somebody's going to go through as the counterbalance. You're chronically, yeah, consistently over time, often you're coming through as the one that has the more authority. There are times when it needs to shift. It's why the title of commander and soldier doesn't quite fit and it needs to shift around. You're learning to yield to each other beautifully. In the case of the patron and the songstress and the sculptor, what your heart wanted to call forward and what the other person could bring forward are two different things. Understand to honor your gifts, honor the gifts that come forward. You may be very, very different from each other, very, very, it wouldn't be like you guys are exactly the same in what you do, but your intention is there and you can honor each other's gifts. They can be very complementary. I think it's why, yes, it's why you get to go through life after life after life. Again, Nell and Gog is clearing his throat. It's very complementary, like in balancing. It balances each other out, even though it's not identical and even though it's very, very different. It balances each other out going forward. So all of your lessons, yield when you need to yield, be in your strength when you need to be in strength, follow the gentle nudge. These are things that you have learned life after life, time after time, going through. That this is the relationship that comes through, the way the relationship will continue to come through. But there's growth in each lifetime as you do this. Yeah, I'm asking, is that complete? Is there anything else you need to know? No, there's nothing else you need to know. You wish for it to be so, even though you would play different roles. Even though you play different roles, it's like every good story has protagonist and antagonist. Every good story has good guys, bad guys, except for you're doing it on a more condensed scale and you're teaching lessons to each other on the path. Very, very beautiful energy. Very, very soul tribe, soul family. There's a huge connection there. Yeah. You're very, very different, but best friends. It makes total sense to me. There's a complementariness about this, and this isn't like a paying compliments, but you do bring out a different flavor in each other that is really, really good, a different way of doing, a different way of being. And there is an understanding and an honoring of each other's wisdom that comes through. That was so beautiful. Yeah, it was. It was very interesting to see. Because sometimes people will ask that, and it's like, you can ask and see what comes through on the other person's lifetime. And generally in past lives, if you stick with just one, you get more specifically in there. But sometimes if you ask for another person, they aren't going to come through. You just don't know. So it's like, okay, whatever needs to come through is coming through. So that's what's going on. So let me get some water. Look, this desk is just a hot mess. A hot mess, guys. This desk is a crazy hot mess. So we're going to throw these all to the sides right here. These to the sides here. And we'll get going in a minute. But I need to get some water. So just 1 second and I'll get me some water. And we'll keep on going. All right. So I don't know who's next on the list, but if you let Kim know, if you've paid for a read, let Kim know. And we'll just keep going with the flow here. I need a little more water and a little more breath before we can go with the flow. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you, Stephanie, for the update. All right. So you guys, whatever you do in your whether it's prayer or sending love and light or good vibes or whatever, if we can take some time to send that to Edie, that would be really, really great. I'm going to make a note to myself. I will do, you guys have seen me do this. I'm not going to do it right here and right now, but you've seen me do a little bit of light language and a little bit of, I sing up prayers. I do like drumming and sing up a prayer and do that. And I will be doing that tonight for her. So I'm just going to write, I don't want it on my palm. I want it on paper. Hang on. I want this done for her. For Edie. She's been without power for a while, guys, and we want to send whatever light we can. So there is not just comfort, but there is clarity for her in what she's doing in her, in how she's navigating right now. Not so much life choices she makes, but how she's navigating, so she can have a little bit more illuminated, so her intuition can kick in a little bit stronger for her. Okay. Now I'm going to pull some cards that I want to pull. I want to pull the light language cards for her. And I know she's not here, but I want to pull them so we can work together on this. Give me a second. Where are they? Okay. Here we go. So these are some of the same signs that come in the light language deck. I'm going to fan these out so we can look through them, and then you guys can all write what it is, and I'll read you the notes off the back of here, and we might do a little bit of that for her. So hang on. Okay, for Edie. You can see I just put some of the light language symbols on business cards for myself to have and to be playing with. This is Arani and Beauty, and this is talking about walking in the beauty way. This is also Hook and Gather. You can see where this is. Hopefully you guys can see this well enough. So this is a sigil that we could draw. I want my stylus, and I want it big so you guys can see. So I want this big. So you could draw it this way and then draw it this way. This is big. Huge, huge, huge. This lends the beauty. And then we have persistence coming in through here. And it almost looks like the Eiffel Tower with a couple of squiggles. If you want to think of it in that way, it's like you draw it up and then back and forth, up, or up and up. Persistence. Then we've got patience and we've got beauty coming in again. Look. So you guys can see it. Double down on this one. This beauty needs to come in. The Tower is a beautiful card, but it comes in after there's been destruction or craziness or a liberation, something that's been built. Is super, super tricky. So when there's been this, it's a beautiful catastrophe. And if she's in the mix of feeling catastrophe, the sense of sending beauty that we need to do so there's hope for her, it's like, okay, yeah. It's like this kind of swirl, and then the other one crosses through and does this hook. We'll do this one too, and then we're going to do some light language for her. This is called Patience. It's coming through, and it's this way. And it's just this line. And then this, and the 3 dots. So I'm going to angle this down so you guys can see what came through for her. So she can see what came through. Double beauty, walking the beauty way. She's not walking alone on this. She needs to know. And oh, shoot, of course this puzzle piece comes in. 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay. She needs to know that she's not alone. It's like this is what she's encountering right now. And this is very much, we've got the red and orange going on. This is like the sacral chakra and the root chakra, sacral and root, right? So this is us here, lending this light, offering this light, letting it come through. So just 1 second. There needs to be moments where every step that she's going through is honored and beauty comes in. So we're going to just let this come through. Okay. So if Edie sees this later, wants to walk with this later, she can. If you guys want to play this later and send light to her direction, then do it. This is how it's going. There's a beacon of hope coming through. It's a beacon of hope coming through that needs to come through for her. Okay, bring this around. I want this light to go out directly to her, to inhabit wherever her energy is, to amplify again with her. An orb just went through. You guys can't see, but it just went through over there. It went through again. Double, double, the beauty orbs are going through. Double, double, the beauty orbs have gone through. There's 2 with her that are helping her, 2 ancestors bringing illumination through. Let this be amplified for her. Okay. We're getting adu, asini, raku, raku. Onse onto on, yahanahare, yahanahare, onso di. A song kehanara, a song kehanara, ye di. A song kehanara, ye di. Esafe, maho. Onse, on rinkansenaru. Sanaru, arikaha, adu, asini, atu, isa kaharikina, yeshawa, yeshi, ye, enso ke lahi, arekehe, asina hanahu, ese, kerahin, onso, ekerahina, ashin, esafe, maho, onto, sisi deru, asini raki onso, hasumatake, anke, alilaha, ontake, asio. Eswa, onsi. Eswa, onsi. Eswa, onsi. Arani, eswa. Onsi. Akira, sina, okay. Onto, eshi. It seems what is around her and what she could use to know and be amplified for her that we can send to her is light from every direction, every step she is taking, more illumination, more power to her sixth sense, more power to her third eye, more power to her to know that she is swaddled and cared for, that the ancestors on the other side are wrapping comfort around her and more receptivity to her. Send protective light, balm, healing balm. Think of big pearlized extra white light and put this all around her, and then like a swaddling cloth around that, as if to comfort, as if to send her a little bit of her own cradle song once again. This is where the beauty comes in. Send the cradle song of the heart out forward, as if you would for a young baby, as if you would for a young child. There's not a demand put on the child. There's just adoration and beauty and understanding that you get through this beautiful time and it's just fine as it is. and this navigation of what's going on. She'll navigate better when she knows she is loved and supported. This is what needs to come through for her. So be very aware and send this out for her. This is what's coming through super strong for her. The sigils of beauty that are coming through. It's like we are not physically in her situation, but we can see with our third eye how this needs to be navigated for her. And this when Steph said that there is this darkness, it doesn't feel like it's over enveloping, but it does feel like walking through a little bit of sludge, and that there's discouragement going on. It's not deep. It feels like a little bit of sludge, and it's not just as easy to navigate as it could be, but it is coming through in a way that if she knows that she is loved, cared for, swaddled, and that the divine is with her, it will be helpful to her. That's what's coming through. That feels very complete. Sending all the love and light to her right now. You guys do what you can in your way, in how you do, in what resonates with your soul to send that out there. The intention is the main thing. It doesn't have to be the perfect prayer, the perfect words, the perfect song, the perfect whatever. Offer your gift and send it energetically towards her, whatever that is. All right, that's complete. Thank you, Steph. Thank you for sharing that with us. And wishing the very, very best for her. Sending as much positive, good vibes, call it what you will, out to her. Okay. All right. Let me get some water. Wow. I did not expect to be doing that today, but hey, when it's called for, it's called for. Yeah. And let that go. Close things when you can close things. Close things so the energy can go forward, okay? That's a good thing. All right. Okay. Is there anything else coming up for today that we've got? Let me know if there is, Kim. We'll see what's going on. I'm not seeing anything right now here, so I'm sure she'll appreciate it. I'm sure she'll get through whatever it is that is going on a little step at a time. That's all we can ever do, but sometimes it's really, really hard to remember and not be overwhelmed. And I think the overwhelm will be made to dissipate, and the encouragement will be felt when it is offered. And I do know to the bone, when there are multiple people offering light, offering prayer, offering gifts, then there is power in that. There's huge power in that. So do what it is that is your personal, private work on her behalf and on behalf of those that you feel need it right now. But yeah, there is power in that, guys. Big time. Okay. I have a little bit more water, and if nobody else is on the list, then maybe we will see what's going on. Again, we'll look at maybe some of the lessons we need to have. I'm getting called to the mermaid cards, so we're going to go in there for a minute. This is an oracle read for the collective in the mermaid cards. I don't know why we're in here, guys. I honestly don't have any idea why we're in here. Yes, I do. We're in here because the timeline jump that people are speaking of, about jumping timelines, it's such a word, it's such a strange turn of phrase that some people will just be like poo-poo and they won't get it. If somebody's not prone to hippie, trippy stuff, they aren't going to get it anyway. But it's different choices. It's different things going on. It's Chad's fault. Okay. It's Chad's fault. Chad, it's your fault on this. Let's see what we got. The mermaid cards. There's something Lemurian that... The gifts of light language that are very Lemurian. Lucy? Lucy wants you to know that the light language gifts that you offer, regardless of how it sounds, regardless of how it comes forward and spills forward, it is the intention that is etched on the soul as crystalline beings. And we hear of Lemurian crystals, Lemurian seed crystals, and the etchings that go across. What is etched in us as crystalline beings? We are crystalline beings. What is etched on our soul and what we etch into the sky, whether we're doing light language or skywriting or work with stylus or work with crystals. This is etched. This is a potent thing to send. It is an amplification of our energy and of our frequency. It's a very Lemurian thing. Lucy likes what just happened. She wants us to be able to do this a little bit more. Maybe not here right now, but us as the ones that are in here, she wants us to honor that sides of ourselves. Okay. All right. What's coming in with the mermaid cards? The guide, the mentor, and the trustworthy ally. We got it right here. Then we have freedom, independence, and self-determination. It needs to be done in our own way. The mentor will guide us and we need to follow our own nudge, but it needs to be done in our own way. So our higher selves, our spirit guides, all of that, they'll tap in, touch in with us, but the way we do it, our unique, distinct way, is what offers us freedom to allow the words to flow, to allow the energy to flow, to override whatever blockages. It's not like learning a different language and somebody else telling you how to speak it. And when you offer up your energy, your intention to something, it is your offering and your unique signature that is upon it that creates the power within it. You wear a Lemurian quartz pendant every day, Alicia? Yeah. The energetic signature of you, the essence of you, your star self, your Lemurian self, your angelic self, yourself, your essence is the eternal aspect of things. And when you offer of that essence with authenticity, the intention is deep, and that is what comes through very fluidly. Vulnerability. Open your heart and allow yourself to be tender. This is huge. To even do light language in such a public way for me is very much, I have gotten over some of the shyness on that, but you notice I don't always gravitate towards that, even though I know I do things a little bit differently and I have strong conviction in what I'm doing. I still feel a little bit vulnerable in sharing it, but I don't get in the way. I follow the nudge. I don't get in the way of that. This is what is being asked of us, to share whatever it is, our gift, in a way where we honor the nudge, we follow it with our own independent style, with our own unique, authentic style, and allowing the vulnerability to be there as we offer it forward. Then this, a return of Aphrodite, temple, birth of the goddess, guidance, goddess energy, and treating as sacred. This is what we just talked about. This is like some of us were talking about the jump in timelines, blah, blah, blah. And if you think about it as the return of the divine feminine, it's definitely coming through stronger and stronger. It's already here. Some people get it and know it and have known it and have felt it for a while. Some people are just starting to light up in this way. Whatever the path in their curriculum is set forward, or whatever yours is, it's not always going to be on the time frame that is the same time frame. But many of us are now in this place where these things, these time frames are lining up, where we are really, really tuning into our guides, tuning into our gifts, tuning into being vulnerable and letting the feminine energy come through and lead. This is huge for us right now. Let the feminine energy of your own soul lead. And when you do that, you lead in a way that is stronger and more fierce and more forward thinking, forward motion. You can speed through some things that would be hurdles or blocks otherwise if you tried to do them differently. Yes, okay, that's an okay analogy to share. Okay, so I just got the okay from Lucy that this is an okay. So I was watching TikTok and I was seeing how a bunch of guys, you guys might see it on here later, a bunch of guys are like passing this hula hoop and trying to step through, and they're passing it along this row of guys, and they step through the hula hoop, each one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. And the difference in the thinking style and the problem-solving style between men and women was coming up and being illustrated with this. And so then they pass the hula hoop to this group of women, and the one woman steps through it, holds on to the hoop, and all the others step through easily. They time it out, and like I think the dudes took 30-something seconds, and the women took like 17. So it's when we hold out help to the other in a feminine way, instead of forcing it, it's not us on our own having to do the task. When we realize the task needs to be done, let's get the whole group through. This is a very feminine way of thinking, a feminine way of doing, is really, really, really beautiful. And this is what the universe is asking us to do, to help others do in whatever way. That's really, if you can find it, look for the hula hoop TikTok, whatever it is, you'll see. I don't know, but it's on there. And this is, I think, Lucy Cavendish, Oracle of the Mermaids, or something like that. And it's beautiful, beautiful energy. The vulnerability that we can share while we gently help each other along the way is a good way to do it. So that's what I've got. I think that we're done for today. I think that's all the readings. Yeah, I'm getting we're done for today. So that's where we're probably going to leave it, unless you guys have other questions. I may be on tomorrow or the next day. I don't know. I don't know what my schedule is going to be like coming up, but that's what's coming up. Then the other thing that I've been working with, and I showed you a little bit of the Sea Hags deck I've been working with, and it is really, really beautiful. It's very, very interesting. And what comes through on that is the crones that forgot their crowns. The sisters among us that have forgotten their crownness, have forgotten their crowns in some way. And be patient with them. Not everyone is comfortable with their hag energy, their crone energy. So be patient with them. It doesn't mean that you need to yield, 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 give, give, give. Hey, Sabrina. It means that you need to honor yourself, honor your soul's calling. That's what I'm getting. That's the huge, huge thing that I've got for today. So if you guys got other questions, I can chit chat for a little bit, but I think that the collectives are done. Yeah, very beautifully done. All the preaching that I think I could probably stand for myself is probably done. But if you have some quick questions or want to see some cards, then I've got a few minutes, and then we'll call it. So that's what we've got. So yeah, it's a good one. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So I guess this needs to be talked about. Sometimes your gifts are going to sneak up on you and come in at different times. And sometimes we think about our spirit guides, and then there's also the council that we would have of collaborators that are on the other side helping us. There is differences in those. There's differences. Like we might have ancestors on our council, but they might not come through as spirit guides, although they could. The council is broader, and it's more for the longer term lifespan. It's the more longer term lifespan, but when you have like the spirit guides coming through and things like that, it's generally more in the daily helping realm. I don't know if that makes sense to people, but sometimes it does. Sometimes the regular ones pause to step into new ones too. I'm not sure what that was about, but if that, you guys will know if that makes sense. I don't know when that came through or when I just read that, but okay. Okay, yeah. Sometimes we will shy away from our gifts, and not everybody is meant to have their gifts show up at the same time in the same space and same way. You often hear me say, gifts of love, Sabrina says. Yes, yes. You often hear me say that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Nobody is everybody's cup of tea, nor should we strive to be. But we see people and we think, oh, she's so good at this, or oh, they're so good at that. Let them be fabulous at that. They're being exactly what they're supposed to be doing. You be fabulous at what you're supposed to be doing. Let it come through how it comes through. I was talking with my friend Sarah the other day, and we were talking about who I know to be Roxy, who is somebody I haven't met in real life, but I saw, and she was very, very weathered looking is the best way I can say it. She was very, very weathered looking singer, and I saw her on TV a long time ago, and her face made me think of like Jack Palance, weathered, wrinkled, worn, Willie Nelson, weathered looking, right? And absolutely beautiful in how she sung. Her soul came through. It was just beautiful how she sung and performed. And so I was trying to explain this to my friend Sarah, and we were sitting there, and as I was talking, I started tearing up, and I told Sarah she's crossed over. Now, I would have no way of knowing this, but I know it. And she's crossed over, and she will be on my council now. And I had to think, what am I calling her since I don't even know her? Her name is Roxy. That's what she reminds me of, these characters, these rock and roll badass type characters that are a little bit weathered and a little bit got some age on them, right? So it's like these influences that come through. When you know, you know. Now, I don't always know when somebody that I don't know from I don't know where crosses over, but that was a different way of having energy move through, and it feels different. So allow your gifts to expand as they unfold. Just allow it to unfold. It was beautiful, Sabrina. It was so beautiful. It was like, I didn't know how I knew. I didn't know what was going on, but trust when you get the chill bumps. Trust when you're tearing up. Trust these things that aren't, it's not just you being over emotional. When you know, and the gifts open and unfold in the way that's right. Not everybody is meant to be Alison Dubois or Teresa Caputo or John Edwards or whoever. They're meant to be them. Let them be them. We are meant to be we, who we are individually as our own self in this particular lifetime. That's what we are meant to be doing. Offer the gifts in the way you offer, in a vulnerable, beautiful kind of way. Inner knowing is beautiful and frustrating at times, but beautiful. Yeah. And the inner knowing, that some of the frustration is that we might get doubt, or we might feel like imposter syndrome is a phrase that people use a lot. But we know what we know, and nobody doubts when a little child sees their imaginary friends. They just think, oh, that child being a child. Their mind is just busy, beautiful, imaginative mind. They don't care that they can't see the child's imaginary friend. And how do they know that they aren't seeing spirit guides or ancestors anyway, right? So let's just leave that to the side and have a little bit more trust like the children do. A little more faith like the children do. That what we're seeing isn't just like this made up blah, blah, blah. And what we're knowing is actually what we're knowing. When you know it to the bone, you know it to the bone. So that's what I've got. All right, enough sermon, enough preaching. Hey, Alta. Hey, sweetie, that's my daughter. I'm probably going to call her in a minute. But that's what I've got for today. What a beautiful, beautiful show. I think I will leave it there. I hope you guys are all going to have a good day. I'll figure out. I'll probably be on in the next few days. I just don't know what the schedule will be. But big hugs and love to all of you. And I will see you guys later. Maybe I'll go on in the evening at some point. Who knows? We'll see what's going on. We'll see what's going on. But sending out all kinds of big love energy. And you guys remember Edie and send out good light for her. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.